Hello everybody, welcome to our chart delineation webinar.
Hello all and welcome. It's Eva
I
here.
hope you all had a good holiday season and a happy new year. I'm not going to go through the protocols. You guys have all been with us before. You know about raising your hand if you have a question, and we've got you on self-mute to minimize the noise. So let's just go straight into this presentation. This particular webinar will be recorded, as most of them are, and I will be giving you copies of these slides because this presentation we're introducing two new topics. We also have two guest presenters. Tracy will present her chart, and Michael has a treat for us. He is going to give us some insight into the chart of Alice Bailey. Any follow-up questions we'll post to the Student Union. We'll email that to themoirafederation.com, and we will include the link to all of the recordings in this series. I see we've got a couple of people who are new this year, and we'd like to welcome you to the Moira Federation. This is the 8th or 9th one in this series, and you can go back and look at the previous ones in this series. Okay, two new topics that we are going to be introducing. I will introduce retrogrades, and then Eva will introduce interceptions. Retrogrades. I've always considered retrograde planets to be tap dancing. You know, they go a little bit forward, then they turn backwards for a bit, and then they go forward again for a third pass over that same ground that they've been covering for several months or years, depending on some planets. With some planets, it actually seems like they're just tap dancing their way across the solar system because they're retrograde so often. And recently I heard a similar analogy that I really liked. It likened the planet to Fred Astaire, who of course is a very terrific dancer, and his partner Ginger Rogers. Fred got to dance his heart out, but Ginger was always moving backwards, and she did it in high heels too, mirroring everything he did. In other words, he was like a planet moving direct, while Ginger was like a planet moving retrograde. We have two different ways that retrograde planets are going to impact us, via transits and also within our natal chart. You know, our natal chart, that's going to be a snapshot of the night sky at the exact time of our birth. But the planets, they didn't really stop, did they? They continued to move slowly across the sky, and their movement is referred to as transits. What we do is we overlay that onto our natal chart to see how they impact the planets within our chart. As they move along, they visit or transit all our houses, planets, and they trigger events as they pass, depending on the nature of the planet transiting and the one being visited. They not only transit a specific house and planet, triggering events to happen in that house, but they also form aspect relationships. You know, they conjunct, they square, they oppose, and they trine our natal planets as they sweep through the sky. So while the transit may last anywhere from a few hours with the moon to a few years with some of the outer planets, it may have stimulated or awakened something that was previously dormant within our chart. And even when they move on their way, separating from the aspect, the effects might have permanently changed us. Keep in mind that while we all might feel the fleeting effects of a Mercury retrograde messing up our communication somehow, and he does, transiting planets need some kind of context. They need an outlet of expression within our natal chart. So it's only through specific contact of the transiting planet to the natal planets, such as conjunctions, squares, trines, and oppositions, that the long-term effects are stimulated or triggered. And you can see what I mean here with the specific transits that I had in December of 2004. This is my natal chart right here in the inner, and these are my house cusps on the outer wheel. And these are the transits that were going on 26 December 2004. I don't have anything at 5 or 6 degrees, so the transiting sun and earth, right here, and the moon, they weren't impacting anything in my chart. But look at transiting Saturn. Oh joy, don't we all love transiting Saturn? Look at what he's doing. He's retrograde, so that means he's just passed over my natal Mercury and Uranus combo, and he's turned backwards, and he's going to hit them again. Won't that be fun? Well, wasn't it? Actually, it was. It was very fun. T Mars, right here, transiting Mars, is at 0 degrees, which means he's fixing to move in on making aspect to my midheaven and nadir. And this is going to set me up. Oh, and by the way, who else is there? Transiting Uranus. So what this is going to do is, this is going to set me up for an 18-month stint with Uranus here. And what's going to do, it's going to impact my career, isn't it? So this is what I mean when I say tap dancing. For 18 months, transiting Uranus is going back and forth over here 3 times. And that actually did set me up for major changes in my career that commenced on 26 December 2004, this date here, when I packed up my little car and I moved from Arizona to Florida, leaving my husband back there to sell his business. And while these outer events and everything were pretty mundane, they also triggered inner spiritual events as well. At this same time, transiting Chiron had just completed a return to his natal position, where I had Chiron retrograde. See? Here's transiting Chiron right there on my natal Chiron retrograde. So what does that mean? I was about 50 years old. This was my Chiron return. Major things happening. And that's how transits work. That's how forward and retrograde planets work, and that's how they trigger things within our natal chart. So see, I had this transiting Chiron opposite transiting Saturn right smack dab on this configuration in my chart, and it also made aspect to many other things that were at 24 degrees within my chart. So major things going on. Like I said, it affected me both my inner spiritual work that was going on, transforming actually. These are planets of change and transformation. They're planets of opportunity, change, adjustments, and boy did that happen in a big way. Okay. That's transits, and that's planets retrograde in transits, all right? The second kind of retrograde is when we have planets that are actually retrograde within our natal chart. To refer back to my previous analogy, when we're born with a retrograde, we learn to dance like Ginger Rogers did. With a transit, it might be like gearing up for a few appearances on Dancing with the Stars, but natally, it's going to be an inherent part of who we are and something we carry with us our whole life. Ginger taught herself to use this aspect of her life very well. She learned not only to cope with going backwards, but to excel at it. In reality, she was guided, wasn't she? Fred was there with her, guiding her along. This is true for anyone with a retrograde planet. They learn to use the energy of the planet effectively in whatever fashion it is inhibited, guided by their soul impulses or lack thereof. Maybe you experience a natal retrograde more internally, more carefully, more reflectively. Maybe you understand the energy at a deeper level. Whatever the case, try looking at it from fresh eyes, from the angle of the soul. Are we constantly looking back over what we've already done, making sure it's right? Are we learning from the experience of our retrograde planets? Do we frequently get the opposite or unexpected impact from something we did? Are we looking at it as the observer, looking for the inner cause of some outer effects? Okay. Why does a planet go retrograde? What causes it to go retrograde? We talked about a little bit about retrogrades in the May 2014 webinar, the first one we had on this series. And they appear to us to go backwards based on the mutual position of the Earth and the other planet in relation to the Sun. This happens when the retrograde outer planet is opposite the Sun and therefore conjunct the Earth. As the Earth moves faster than the outer planet, it catches up and overtakes the outer planet in their respective orbits. Planets closest to Earth go retrograde the least often because their orbits are closer to that of the Earth's one-year orbit. Venus and Mercury retrograde motion is a little bit different because they're inside Earth's orbit. This means they move much faster than the Earth. And while we think in terms of them as always being close to the Sun, that's only their apparent motion, from here on Earth. They only retrograde during an inferior conjunction to the Sun, which means that they're between the Sun and the Earth. But hey, why am I sitting here trying to explain this to you when a picture is worth 1,000 words? So here's the Earth, here's Mars, and you can see the Earth catching up, then overtaking Mars, and this is what it looks like to us is happening. Third time is the charm. Remember I told you that it goes forward a little bit and then it stops and goes backwards, goes forward a little bit, stops and goes backwards, and then stops again and goes forward again. That's 3 times passing that same set of degrees. This is actually a Mercury retrograde cycle from early 2014. The first span started at 18 degrees Aquarius. It retrograded at 3 Pisces, and that's the span, those are the degrees that it hit 3 times. So the transiting cycle actually includes all 3 passes. The retrograde cycle includes all 3 passes, and it spans those degrees that are hit. So in this case, Mercury was only retrograde, this period right here, for 22 days, but the impact of the cycle was actually about 66 days. In the case of a planet being retrograde in the natal chart, what does that mean? It means the person was born in the middle of the cycle, during this period here somewhere, when the planet was backing up and going over the same ground it had just passed. Mercury retrogrades the most often, and that's very important to us as he's the way that we communicate with others. So if we're born with Mercury retrograde, we'll carry that with us throughout our lifetime. But we also saw that transits can affect humanity as a whole. Specifically, transiting Mercury goes retrograde every 4 months for about 22 days each time, but the retro cycle, as we just saw, is about 66 days long. In other words, about half of every year, Mercury-related things, communications, ideas, thoughts, even machinery. They're either poised to go hooey, are currently going hooey, or we are fixing the mistakes from when they just did. But hey, it's something we all learn to live with, isn't it? It's part of our daily life and yearly cycles. The two planets retrograding the least, Venus and Mars, are also part of our very important personal arsenal. Venus retrogrades happen about once every year and a half for about 6 weeks. Mars retrogrades a little more than every 2 years for about 10 weeks. So natally, these are going to be uncommon occurrences. Jupiter is retrograde in total about 1/3 of each year, while Saturn and beyond are retrograde for progressively longer periods of time, as you can see from the slide here. So while we may or may not be born with any retrograde planets, we still can be impacted by them for some period of time via the motion of the planets as they transit our charts. Since outer planets are usually transpersonal, so more generational in nature, we're not really going to discuss them in detail. They are retrograde a considerable amount of time, and many of us have them retrograde in our chart, so it's not all that unusual. It's hard to say how we will experience a retrograde, depending on a number of things, including the nature of the planet itself, as well as our place on the path. The gamut can run from the planet behaving in an unusual manner to it being more internalized for us, where we were always acting cautiously on things that involved the way we express that planet. We might pause more often than other people to reflect on things before we commit to any action, or it could be inhibited in some other fashion. Here's a quick rundown on the more personal planets, and the next slides will get into it a little more in detail. These are our basic modes of operation. Mercury is how we communicate with others. Venus is how we relate to them. Mars is our own personal little action figure, how we act and react. Jupiter lifts us, expands us, and teaches us to venture far, while Saturn reins us in, provides structure and limitation, and teaches us responsibility. We've all heard about Mercury retrograde stories. I know I get my fair share of communication misunderstanding or misspelling during Mercury retrograde periods, one of which we're getting ready to enter soon. So yes, communications can and do go haywire, but it's always a time to listen to our inner self, what needs to be slowed down or reflected on. A good analogy for looking at Mercury direct is to think in terms of left brain kinds of activities, logical, sequential, straightforward, analytical. During a retrograde, it can switch to a more right brain approach, needing to be more intuitive, creative, or to express non-rational kind of thinking. This will, of course, depend on the sign it's in natally. Some signs will foster the left brain activity and some will counterbalance it, so the effect of the retrograde will change accordingly. Whatever the case, individuals with Mercury retrograde in their charts will communicate and process information differently than individuals who have Mercury direct. They may perceive things differently, have difficulty organizing information or putting their thoughts into words. They may be highly organized, but have one of those systems that only they can understand. Ideas can be strong and innovative, but they might not have the effective outlet to get their point across to others. Just as Mercury was all about thinking, communicating, and expressing ourselves, Venus is primarily about how we relate to other people. Venus direct is usually friendly and social, but retrograde she can become shy and withdrawn. Relationships might seem more internalized or have hidden currents. Of course, this again depends on the sign she's in and whether or not the retrograde enhances the normal attributes of the sign or not. So individuals with Venus retrograde in their chart will relate differently to people than is expected. They may have difficulty projecting their feelings or feel that they lack an emotional fulfillment somehow. If they internalize things, it could mean a constant reevaluation and reliving of emotional moments. Where am I? Mars is considered a hard planet for most. Being retrograde might mitigate that hardness. Mars direct represents our approach to conflict, hostility, anger, assertiveness, also our ability to take action. If internalized because Mars is retrograde, it can turn that anger in on ourselves. Maybe require constant regrouping and reevaluating of things before you can take any action. Individuals with Mars retrograde in their charts might have delayed reactions to situations. Mars retrograde often requires exploration of the deeper issues beneath the surface of a situation before moving forward. It can also be a wonderful opportunity to explore yourself deeper and see what triggers intense reactions. But this might take a trained therapist. Mars can really bring up some issues there. Jupiter is considered a beneficial planet for most of us. Being retrograde, it might lessen the rewards. With Jupiter, all things are larger than life, and we incarnated specifically to learn from these experiences, so most things are fair game in the process of learning through expansion, and then integrating what we have learned into a healthy personality. If Jupiter is retrograde, then things won't be quite as large. The experience might not be so over the top, and the integration might take more effort than if Jupiter was direct and less inhibited. Individuals with Jupiter retrograde in their charts will seek growth and expansion and higher education differently than individuals who have Jupiter direct. They may find themselves planning and then replanning instead of actually getting out and doing. Or they internalize it and seek inner wisdom or spiritual self-help studies instead of a formal education. Saturn is considered a hard planet for most, and being retrograde might mitigate that hardness. Saturn is the ring past knot of our solar system. Ancient astrology thought it was the farthest planet out there, so it set boundaries. It represents many things: structure, opportunity, time. It has a karmic component to it. It is our personal ring past knot we have until we've taken the third initiation and are free from karmic responsibilities and have mastered the three lower planes, the physical, astral, and mental planes. Something to keep in mind is that we expand our experience through Jupiter, but we organize and contain them through Saturn. One is like an exhalation of breath, and the other is like the inhalation of breath. Both are necessary. These characterizations of retrogrades are brief, and they're by no means all-inclusive. There are many more interpretations that could be indicated, and in fact, each of us could have our own individual way of expressing a retrograde planet. But it gives you an idea of some of the energies involved and what impact a retrograde will have. Okay, before Eva takes over, are there any questions on retrogrades? Okay, that's fine. You guys can, if you have any questions, we can get to them later on, so give you time to think about it. Okay, Eva, you ready?
Okay. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes.
Great. Okay, everybody, we're going to talk about interceptions. And before we actually do, I want to point out that astrology is a third-ray science. What do we know about the third ray? Is that it's complex. There's a lot to the third ray. It's about multiplicity and a lot. So although these things that we're covering today just add more, another dimension to astrology, the most important thing that I would pass on to any student is that if you know the sun, moon, and ascendant, their rulers, and the relationships or the aspects that they make within the chart, you will know so much about an individual that you are looking at. their chart, that is. So all these are extra, and we can go on and on teaching you more and more extras. But in all honesty, is it that essential? I would say not really. But because it's there and because people ask us, well, why this and why that, we are covering it. So I leave it with you, and depending on how great your interest is in astrology will depend on how much energy you give this extra material that we are introducing you to. So what are interceptions? Well, we know that when we look at a chart, just over here, each one of these is a house, correct? And normally there's a sign on each one of these cusps, a different sign that introduces the house, and that becomes like the ruler of that house. Now, with an interception, what ends up happening is that there is a sign that is self-contained within a house, just like it's being pointed out here for you. You see the blue and the green, they're not on the cusp. They're self-contained within the house, which automatically means that it does not give you its full expression because it's contained. It's not ruling the house. It's not on the cusp and therefore not ruling. And because always the signs work within an axis, whatever happens to one sign happens to the opposite sign. So whatever sign this is, its opposite is also self-contained. So you have one sign on one side and the other sign on the other side that is intercepted. So let's just leave it for that for the moment. We're going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so a little while ago, BL talked about Alan Leo. So we've chosen to work with Alan Leo's chart. Now, we also mentioned that there are different types of, what do we call it, different kinds of
house systems.
House system, thank you. Thank you, I drew a blank there. So we really, most astrologers work with one of these three. There's Placidus, there's Koch or Koch, as some people say it, K-O-C-H, or there's Regiomontanus, which is what we are using because Michael uses that for those that attend the conference. And these were the relatively new house systems, and they were established to avoid the huge, huge houses that would appear with those born on the very high latitudes of the hemisphere. So this kind of makes things a little more even, but it still allows you to have intercepted signs. So here we see that if we look over here, we see that Cancer is not on this cusp, nor is it on this cusp. It's intercepted. You've got it circled here by red, and therefore its opposite is also intercepted, and that is Capricorn. So we have Cancer, Capricorn that are intercepted. What does that mean when a sign is not on the cusp? It means that its expression is not part of your personal environment, and therefore its energy or its expression is somewhat inhibited. It's somewhat restricted. It is not allowed to be its natural self as it would be if it was on the cusp. Now, when you have this setup, what ends up happening, because every cusp has to have a sign, you end up with double signs on, you have double signs. In other words, you end up with the same sign on two cusps. And here we see two Leo on the cusp of the 12th house, and Leo on the cusp of the 1st house, and its opposite, Aquarius, on the cusp of the 6th and on the 7th. Well, what does that mean? That means usually that you have to work with that energy doubly. In other words, it's an emphasis upon that energy. Okay, we're going to move on to another slide. I guess you have to do that, BL. It's not working that well for me. Or did I do it? I did it. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
You did it. No, I did it, but yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to the same Alan Leo chart, but with a different house system. And this is the Koch house system. You see the name way up here? It's the Koch house system. What does that do? It changes the sign that is intercepted. In this case, we have Gemini on one axis and Sagittarius on the other axis. It is intercepted. It's self-contained within the house because on the cusp of the 10th house, you have Taurus. On the cusp of the 11th house, you have Cancer. Gemini doesn't appear on a cusp. Hence, it is self-contained. It is intercepted within that house and its opposite as well. So therefore, it sets up, again, a double reinforcement of a sign on two cusps. And in this case, it's the same two. Okay, it's the same two. So again, what does all that mean? It means that sometimes we have to look a little carefully to see what is intercepted and what is not. And that's why some astrologers don't put that much emphasis on interceptions because they change. They change depending on the house system. They can change is a better way of saying it. They can change depending on the house system we use. So now that we have it intercepted, not only is the sign intercepted, but the planet within that sign is also intercepted. So here we have Uranus in Gemini is intercepted. And if we go back to the other one, thank you, BL, we had Venus in Cancer was intercepted, as well as Mars in Capricorn was intercepted. And how is that energy going to be used? It's so important to get that energy to be used because it rules other signs, right? It rules other houses. And so that energy that is locked up because being intercepted and being self-contained within a house means it's locked. It's almost like being in a closet. So the question becomes, how do we unlock it? How do we unlock what is intercepted? Well, the obvious one is to use the key, is to use the ruler of that intercepted sign as one of the keys. So if we go back again to this one, any one of them, doesn't matter. Okay, so the intercepted sign here is Cancer. Cancer's ruler is the moon. We would look for where the moon is. The moon is in Aries. So somehow using that moon will allow that Cancer sign to come out of the closet. That's one way in which we unlock. The same thing goes with Mars in Capricorn. Now Mars in Capricorn happens to be exalted, which is a very good thing when it's exalted. And exaltations, even though it's locked, even though it's lessened in its energy, but because it's exalted, that energy can be used to also help move the individual out of its locked, or the sign out of its locked position. Now we would also look for the ruler of Capricorn, which would be Saturn, and Saturn appears in Leo, and Leo, as you can see, is very important in this person's astrology because he has a stellium here and he has Leo on two cusps. So that Saturn would play a very important role. It is also sitting right on his ascendant. So again, once he learns to work with that Saturn in Leo, he could find a way to unlock this energy. Generally, we do not unlock it in our early years. We tend to unlock it a lot later. So we're going to move on to the next slide, which is so we said that they were already in a closet. And with intercepted planets, it is important to release their energies, as has been already mentioned. Why? Because they rule the cusp of other houses. But as has been said, it takes time. It takes time because in our early environment, it's not encouraged to come out of the closet. You need to learn to work to the highest level that you can of that particular sign and that particular planet. So it's frustrating for a lot of people because they cannot really express the energy very well that's locked within the sign. Moving along to the next. The other way of unlocking an interception is through the transits that BL has talked about. When anything transits, it creates a new dynamic of energies. So if it, for example, is either opposite the planet that is intercepted, or if it's conjuncting the planet that is intercepting, it can open up that interception and release the energy of that planet to allow fuller expression of that particular planet, and then, of course, the sign. So we look at the ruling planets of intercepted signs. Do they form aspects with any other planets that are intercepted or in other signs? What is the relationship like? Is it friendly? In other words, is it an ease? Is it a trine? Is it a sextile? Or is it a challenge, like a square or an opposition? So these are all things that one would look for with interceptions. As we get older, we learn to better express the higher qualities of both the planets that are intercepted and the sign that is intercepted. I did not put up my own stuff here. Maybe I should have, but as I looked at the various house systems and my own astrology, I had the same, well, in 2 of the house systems I had the same signs that were intercepted, and in one of the house systems I had 2 other signs that were intercepted. I could make a case for both, that in my earlier life, you know, when I was raising my children and I was more involved in their life, certain energies were not expressed because my attention and my life didn't permit that. Later on, for example, when Leo and its opposite Aquarius was intercepted in another house system, I was realizing that I'm expressing a lot more Leo qualities, much more creativity, much more Aquarian energy, much more service, because my children are grown up and I can allow myself to do those things. So we have to see what parts of our lives do different things express. I can make a whole case here for Alan Leo as to which worked at what part of his life and which worked for another, but you get the idea. As we grow older, one set of interceptions might be more applicable than when we were younger, again, depending on the house system. And then there are those people who never have an interception. Okay? So interceptions are not for everybody, on everybody's chart. Okay, we move on. Thank you, BL. So not only are 2 signs intercepted, which means its energy is inhibited, but as we said, also the planets within those signs. So then we look at the 2 signs on the 2 cusps that are doubled up. This gives double emphasis to the repeated axis, highlighting the area that needs extra work. Because it's doubled up, it means that there's more of that energy, and we need to learn to work with that energy, whether to use it better, whether to perfect it, whether to be much more comfortable with that energy. But we certainly have opportunity to work with that energy more so, because if anything, it's the opposite of being inhibited. It allows for its expression. So usually the first cusp is known as the primary focus, and the second follows the lead of the first. So and it can be considered dependent on the first house for its fulfillment, using the experience which already is being worked on in the prior house. Does that make sense? Do we kind of follow that? So the first sign that it's in is the primary, the second one is the secondary. Okay, so we move on. This is the sign axes and understanding their meanings. Now, you've had this information before, and we're not going to go through all the words that are on this slide. This is going to be for you to use as a reference. But it's very easy to work with this. We know that Aries is aggression. Libra is harmony. So we know that the axis deals with aggression versus harmony. With Taurus, Taurus is about practicality because it's an earth sign. Scorpio is much more compulsive, it's more possessive. So you have that as an axis. Gemini, versatility.
Eva?
Yes.
We got a question here.
Yes? Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Victor.
Yeah, I had a question. You said the signs on two cusps, and the one is first. Well, which one is first? Going counterclockwise or going clockwise?
We are all considered here aspirants' disciples. So we are all moving counterclockwise. This would not apply the same way, and we're not even, you wouldn't even be considering esoteric rulerships if you were working the ordinary wheel. So for us as students of this work and students of an esoteric astrology, we're constantly working with it anti-clockwise.
Okay, so the first one is the one that's on the ascendant there on Leo.
No, it's actually it's the one that BL is pointing out, because you're working going left to right. So that would be the first one. The second one would be
going around the wheel. Okay.
You see?
Okay. That's the first one. Okay.
That's the first, and then the one on the ascendant would be the second. And then as you move into Aquarius, the cusp of the 6th house is the first, and the cusp of the 7th house is the second.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you for clarifying.
All right, very good. I'm glad you asked. So we're back to the consideration of the axes. And again, it's not a hard thing to figure out what the axes are. We know that Cancer is nurturing. We know Capricorn is authoritative. So you see the axes, and in many respects, they're opposites. They're totally opposites. Leo is the self, the personal. Aquarius is the impersonal, or the group. Virgo is analytical. Pisces is idealistic. So you have, in an axis, you always have a similarity in energy, but yet it's opposite. It's opposite in its expression, and it always is important to work on understanding the harmony that is between the two signs in an axis. This I leave to you to reread and to feel a little more comfortable with. Now what we're going to move on to is the next slide. And this is the part that you want to pay a little bit more attention to. So what sign, if you do have a sign that is intercepted, what is being inhibited, what is being restricted, and what is being held back in its expression? So we know that Aries is all about initiating new. It's pioneering. It's aggressive. It's independent. Well, that environment is pulled back, or rather that energy is pulled back in its environment so that the person becomes a little bit more meek, a little bit more mild, not having that daring to try new things. So that expression isn't there. Taurus we know is about warmth and affection, materialism, to feel confident and have a sense of self-worth. Well, again, that is discouraged. It is discouraged, and therefore there isn't that comfort level with all of those things. One can feel put down, can take things personally, being possessive of what they have, and so on. Gemini, what is held back is some kind of early learning, some kind of learning, education. It could be through an illness, it could be through a disability, or the need to care for a sibling. So you kind of see how we're working with this energy and how we're trying to give you a sense of what aspect of it, how that energy is being held back. In Cancer, either too much emotionalism or not enough emotionalism, or lack of security through the materiality. In Leo, suppressed creativity. In Virgo, the critical environment says you can never do anything right, so it could be criticism from others or self-criticism. But again, it is the mind is not allowed to analyze and figure things out in its normal way. Okay, we're going on to the next slide, BL. And with Libra, It's the way in which we relate to others is inhibited. It's discouraged, whether not being sufficiently independent or sufficiently forward in the way in which you reach out to others to have that relationship. In Scorpio, whether it's suppressed sexuality or it could be those strong emotions, the environment is not allowed to be its normal way. In Sagittarius, discouraged from taking risks, or that strict and different kind of religious upbringing doesn't allow for that wide and open expanse that Sagittarius is so often associated with. In Capricorn, maybe there's some kind of discouraging from reaching those goals. Aquarius, friends, acquaintances, maybe the relationships that you create are too rigid. You feel trapped, not free to allow for those kinds of group involvement. And in Pisces, discouraged for having faith in yourself or getting in touch with your own intuition. So you see how we're playing with the energies that you already know about each one of these signs. This is nothing new for you, but it's just that we look at it as being more restricted, more held back. And we've got to find ways to unlocking it. Okay, any questions on these interceptions before we actually move on to our guests?
Yes, we have a question here. Go ahead, Yvonne.
Eva, looking at your birth chart, I just listened to this. I don't want an interception, and I looked at my birth chart, but I can't tell from looking at it if I have interceptions. Can you look at your birth chart and tell this?
Yes, you can. Because if you let's go back to the one we were looking at here.
Thank you.
Thank you, BL. Okay, so you see how on every cusp there is a sign. On every cusp there's always a sign. If you find that there is a sign in the middle between the cusps, like here, you know that that particular sign is intercepted. The same thing up here, between the 9th and the 11th house. In the 10th house, there is a sign on the cusp, which is Taurus here as the midheaven, and as we go to the cusp of the 11th house, it's Cancer, but in between, there's Gemini. It doesn't sit on a cusp. Every other cusp has a sign on it. And so if you look at your birth chart, if there's anything that's sort of in the middle between two signs, that's the interception.
I got it. Thank you. The light bulb went on.
Okay, way to go. All right. Any other questions?
You're going to see the same sign on two different cusps too. So both of those phenomenons will happen. And yes, Yvonne, you have it.
Okay. So, yeah. So it's just another piece to put together to add to the depth of what you already know. And especially as you're trying to understand yourselves better. It's really for yourself, self-analysis, self-interpretation, and you know, we want to know our rays, we want to know our astrology. This just adds more. It just adds more. And so if you find it complicated, don't worry about it. Don't do it, because it's not the most important thing. But it does add another dimension, and that's why we're offering this. We'll probably work with more transits later on so that we give you a greater feel of transits. And for those that do attend Michael's astrology at the conference, he always gives us transits. So it's an important piece in looking at the dynamics that have been created. I think that's another important piece, even more so than these transits. Than these interceptions. I think transits are very important. So we will spend a little bit more time looking at transits and how they impact you and what to look for. Okay? So we're moving on. BL, you want to take over?
Well, no, I'm going to lob it to Tracy. Tracy, are you ready? Tracy, you got to unmute yourself. Tracy, you look muted. You look self-muted to me. I got a question here. Hold on a minute here. Trying to unmute. Oh, you know what? We had this problem last night. I couldn't unmute her, but okay, you need to click the microphone. Click the green microphone, and it should unmute you. Okay, let's see. Brett, do you have any? Okay, all right. Tracy's going to leave us, and then she's going to come back on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Michael while that happens, and then we'll do Tracy later. Okay? Are you ready, Michael? Michael, are you there?
I just unmuted myself.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Okay.
What I like to do when I'm analyzing a chart is to look at the general layout first. And what I've done with Alice Bailey's chart is focus primarily on the esoteric rulers and their interpretations, because she was presumed to be working towards her third initiation. So first I look at the hemispheres, and there is a preponderance of planets and points in the southern hemisphere. This would tend to show Alice Bailey to be an extroverted nature, recharging herself primarily through contact with others. There is also a higher preponderance of planets and points in the eastern hemisphere. This would tend to show her working primarily through self-initiated activities, or not relying on others to tell her what to do. In her autobiography, Bailey wrote about how she saw herself as an introvert, but much of her life was spent in contact with large numbers of people. She also discussed how she objected greatly to others telling her what to do and was very much a self-starter. Then I look at the quadrants. In her chart, the fourth quadrant is very strong, showing a potential for her life to be focused on social expression and a contribution to public service through both extroverted and self-initiated activity. This characteristic of her chart was strongly displayed in her life by bringing the next phase of teaching of the ageless wisdom in front of humanity. Everything about the arcane school was based on her insights and efforts, and Master DK did not interfere. Next, I look at the elements. There's a strong emphasis in fire signs, with a secondary and almost equal emphasis both in earth signs and in air signs. Very little in water signs. From an exoteric standpoint, two of the three most important components in the chart, the sun and moon, are in air signs, giving that element as much strength as fire. With the emphasis of fire in the chart, she can display the strengths of enthusiasm and confidence, but also the weaknesses of being willful, insensitive, and impatient. The fire energy is masculine and active, and these persons can be excitable. The secondary emphasis in air signs indicates a degree of focus in the mind, sociability on ideas which have not yet materialized, and on having an ability to detach, and so provide perspective and objectivity. Bailey was born and raised in an upper-class British family which employed a number of servants. She was generally quite sheltered through her youth and young adult period. She traveled extensively and lived in many different countries throughout her life. In spite of the sheltering, she was quite social. But due to the sheltering, she was often unaware about her worldly dangers. With her outstanding ability for telepathic rapport with Master DK, She had a definite focus in her mind and was able to bring ideas into manifestation on the physical plane. The other secondary emphasis in earth signs shows the potential she had of being a practical realist, that she would be dependable and stable and have an innate understanding of how the material world functions. This emphasis allowed Bailey to develop a routine for her inner and outer work and exhibit great endurance through many illnesses in her lifetime. Next, I'm looking at the modes, and the planets and points shown in the modes are fairly balanced in all respects, with the fixed signs nudging out the cardinal signs, then followed by the mutable. The primary preponderance in fixed signs shows a tendency to a conservative approach, a tendency to caution, and one who is more stable. The secondary preponderance in cardinal signs shows a tendency for independence, seeking control over her environment, drive, and ambition, and a tendency to start things but with the potential lack of follow-through. I found this interesting in her story when Master DK first approached her in November of 1919. She flat out refused to help. She again refused the request 3 weeks later. It was not until discussing the matter with her own master that she accepted the task of working with GK. Now, in looking at the 4 angles of her chart, we see the ascendant-descendant axis in fixed signs Leo, Aquarius, relating to attaining self-mastery in Leo, leading to group awareness and selfless world service in Aquarius. Her self-mastery was shown by the control of the lower mind, so that her intuition was developed, enabling her to further perfect her telepathic ability. Through this higher technique of communication, she was able to be a world disciple, providing the next dispensation of the ageless wisdom to the world. The ICMC axis is in cardinal signs, Libra and Aries, relating to establishing balance and mental control, holding the mind steady in the light of the soul, and using the will and power intelligently in benefit to humanity through Aries, and then exhibit soul control over the personality through one's career and goals, and fostering the development of spiritual responsibility in Libra. Bailey was slowly able to balance her one-pointed aspiration to serve the Orthodox Christian Church by expanding her mind when she began to study the secret doctrine. She changed her spiritual focus by becoming involved in the Theosophical Society and teaching the first outer phase of the ageless wisdom through that society. She experienced a further change in focus when she chose to be more open-minded and inclusive by teaching through the Arcane School. She does have some stellia. Her chart shows stellia in Taurus with Neptune, Chiron, and Pluto, and also in the 10th house with Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron, and in the 11th house with Pluto, Venus, Sun, and the South Node. Normally, asteroids such as Chiron are not included when considering stellia, but Chiron, using love to overcome the lower desires through struggle, has been shown to be a significant force for Alice Bailey. So I have included those in this analysis. This shows a focus in her life in Taurus to develop and express the light of wisdom, in the 10th house for training the disciple in a vocation which will further the work of the master, and the 11th house where the 3rd degree initiate proves their worthiness. From her autobiography, Bailey many times described how the necessary resources appeared to meet her needs of the particular times. This was in terms of finances, in emotional support, in child care, and many other ways. Interceptions. Sagittarius and Gemini are intercepted in the 5th and 11th houses. The esoteric purpose of the Sagittarius-Gemini sign axis is to provide karmic opportunities to establish control of the opposites and resolve the dualities which may appear in many forms. The spiritual purpose of the 5th and 11th house axis is to use the soul's creative expression in service to humanity. It appears that both the signs and the house purposes worked out in her life. Now I'm going to talk about her race a little bit. And based on the information that I was able to get through from the autobiography, I hypothesized that her rayological makeup was a Ray 2 soul, Ray 1 personality, Ray 5 mind, Ray 6 emotional, and Ray 7 physical. Then I looked at some other things, and Dr. Robbins assigns Ray 1 to the mental and Ray 2 to the emotional. We also identified the emotional body as Ray 6 as either a legacy from prior embodiment or as a transformation to Ray 2 during that incarnation. She described her physical appearance as being beautiful and somewhat delicate, which is Ray 7. She spent much of her early adult life as an evangelist, taking care of wounded soldiers and working to convert them to the Christian tradition, which I saw as Ray 6. She described an inquiring mind, particularly in regards to spiritual matters, which early in her life as an evangelist, her mind was somewhat closed. So I saw that as Ray 5. The personality energy expressed as a pioneering woman who was independent and purpose-driven, I saw as Ray 1. And as a disciple of KH on the second ray, this strongly indicates the likelihood of a second ray soul. Next, I'm going to look at the moon, which is located at Libra, Aught. The moon represents that which is past, the limitations and present handicaps. It governs the physical body and shows where the prison of the soul is to be found. It is this which is to be transformed. In this chart, the moon is located in the 3rd house, which from a traditional standpoint is related to lower communication, short journeys, the close environment, and siblings. From a higher standpoint, it is related to higher communication and telepathy, the search for one's spiritual path, and soul brothers and sisters. The lower self or personality dominating the Libran life can be exhibited as a perpetual swing between the pairs of opposites. The personality mantra is let choice be made. This provides opportunity for her to experience upheavals of every kind, along with periods of calm so that eventually the person will consciously choose to develop balance and moderation. In early family life, there may be an emphasis on appearance and social acceptance. With these issues, Bailey definitely dealt with in her early life. The higher mantra is, I choose the way which leads between the two great lines of force. Through her work with Master DK and the Arcane School, she strove to achieve balanced relationships through meditation on reality, honesty, and integrity, and by living up to these ideals. Upheavals in her life were stated to be lived in equanimity and balance. The exoteric ruler of Libra is Ray 5 Venus, found at Gemini 17 in the 11th house. The 11th house governs friends, organizations, and hopes and wishes. Venus represents love, wisdom, or the energy of the soul being expressed through the mind. Venus is also the esoteric ruler of Gemini, through which the person comes under the power of the mind, and knowledge is transmuted into love. In the 11th house, the energy of second ray Gemini and Venus works to bring soul expression into the mind, and from there to outer world friends and organizations. The esoteric ruler of Libra is Ray 7 Uranus, found at Virgo 5 in the 2nd house. Esoterically, the 2nd house relates to the detachment and release from things of the lower nature so that the higher nature or soul can take charge, and Virgo relates to the purification of the lower nature. Uranus represents the spirit or father aspect, which shatters the forms imprisoning consciousness. Responding to the energy working through Uranus in Libra helped Bailey in letting go of the attractions of the outer world so she could focus on the important matters of her soul work. There is a loose semi-sextile between the moon and Uranus, being friendly and neighborly and showing that lessons of Virgo still have follow-up to occur in Libra. The moon is square both the sun and Earth, but they are not all three immutable signs. The squares do not create a challenge to be overcome between the past of the moon and the probabilities of the sun. Although they are in proper degree, because of being in dissimilar modes, the normally challenging square aspect becomes even harder to resolve. The Earth-Sun axis in mutable signs Gemini, Sagittarius, and the 11th, 5th houses relates to the resolution of dualities so that the soul's creative expression can be used in spiritual service to humanity. The moon in cardinal Libra challenges the disciple to follow through on the task of achieving the needed balance. As the moon refers to the past, Bailey was able to transcend and transmute issues of her early life, not surrender to the ways of the outer world, and so was able to meet her potentiality in her life of service. For her sun, it's located in Gemini 25. The sun represents the problems of the life or the probabilities. The sun itself is a representation of the personality or one's identity. In this chart, the sun is located in the 11th house, which is related to friends, organizations, social reform and politics, and hopes and wishes, and that's from a traditional standpoint. From a higher perspective, the 11th house is related to true spiritual brotherhood, spiritual vision, and working with one's soul group in furtherance of the plan. Even though not stationed in this house, it is governed by Aquarius, which goal is to develop the Ray 5 scientific mind and thereby use it in group effort to aid world need. And that's kind of where I also was thinking she had a Ray 5 mind. In Gemini, the mantra of the personality is, let instability do its work. The sun in Gemini is a call to release the hold of the lower self and identify with the love and beauty of the soul. This is achieved by holding the mind steady in the light so that soul illumination may occur. The goal is to use the light of the higher mental powers to inform and inspire others to reach for their higher goals. The mantra of the soul is, I see my other self, and in the waning of that self, I grow and glow. The high goal of Gemini is to express intelligent love through service to the whole. In her sheltered childhood, Bailey was coddled and somewhat self-centered, always having servants to look out for her best interest. After leaving home at age 22, she changed her focus from the lower self to that of service to humanity. First was with the Sands Soldiers' Homes in Ireland and India, then through the Theosophical Society, finally through the Arcane School. Ray 4 Mercury is the exoteric ruler of Gemini, and is found in Cancer 11 in the 12th house. Exoterically, the 12th house represents the collective unconscious, the unknown, and institutions caring for the ill. The lower nature of Cancer can be thought of as the three bodies or sheaths in the outer objective world, and Mercury represents the lower concrete mind. Bailey spent a number of years as a young adult caring for injured soldiers in England and India, and there was much instability created which led to difficulties and illnesses. The Sun and Mercury make no aspect in the natal chart. The esoteric ruler of Gemini is Venus, which is found in its own sign. The meaning of Venus in Gemini was touched on above in discussing the esoteric ruler of Libra. The Sun is conjunct Venus by an orb of less than 8 degrees, providing a strengthening of their combined second ray and fifth ray energies. Now looking at the ascendant. It represents the intended life or the immediate soul purpose for this incarnation or the possibilities of the life, the spiritual goal for this and future embodiments. In this chart, the ascendant is located in Leo 9, with the possibilities in this life to raise the consciousness from the ego to this lower ego to the soul and become established in that higher center. In Leo, the mantra of the soul is, I am that, and that am I. The high goal in Leo is to develop a wise and intelligent disciple, one who will fight for truth and the higher way, leading humanity humanely to God. The exoteric and esoteric ruler of Leo and the chart is the second ray sun, found in Gemini 25. As the sun veils other planets, for Bailey it is veiling either ray 6 Neptune as a disciple or ray 7 Uranus as an initiate. By looking at Bailey as a disciple and placing Neptune over the sun in Gemini in the 11th house, the meaning could be to provide purification of the astral nature, which is Neptune, in order to control the unstable nature of the lower personality by developing the intellect, which is Gemini, so that the spiritual group can manifest the necessary vision and purpose to carry out their part of the divine plan, which is the 11th house. From a personality standpoint, Bailey was able to reorient herself to a much larger picture and become instrumental in bringing forth teachings of the ageless wisdom which are transforming the older cycles into the new. If we look at the sun veiling Neptune and the ascendant, which are within 3.5 minutes of a semi-square, showing somewhat of a restriction between the two. This restriction is working out, and that can be seen as the emotional devotion exhibited as the evangelist in her early life, which is ray 6 Neptune, transforming into the world disciple and teacher, the ray 2 Gemini, in order to carry out the divine plan. This shows the beginnings of transferring the energetic influences in the life from the planets to the signs. And a quote from Esoteric Astrology on page 54, it might be said that the higher response to the realities and qualities revealed and made possible by the impact of energy from the zodiacal signs is somewhat dependent upon the waning influence of the planets to hold down the consciousness aspect of the man. Going on, if the sun is taken as veiling Uranus as the hierarchical ruler, then we might see the restrictions due to the semi-square with the ascendant as ray 7 Uranus acting as a challenge to the disciple to sharpen her mind, become highly organized, particularly in her use of time, and develop into a leader using the love and wisdom provided by the second ray Gemini energy. This appears to be some of what Bailey was able to accomplish in spite of physical health issues throughout her life. Now we look at Neptune, which is a sacred planet expressing the sixth ray, which is devotion and idealism, and it's the esoteric ruler veiled by the sun of Leo. And it's found at Taurus 13 in the 10th house. The purifying energy of Neptune, also known as the Lord of Eternal Love, promotes control of the lower nature and the transmutation of desire into aspiration through Taurus, and seeks to train the disciple in the vocation which will further the goals of his or her master's ashram. Neptune is loosely square the ascendant, creating a challenge of meeting soul intent. Although the first contact which Bailey had with Master was with Master K.H., and that happened at age 15, her upbringing was in the Christian tradition. Her devotion to Jesus led her at age 22 to begin the life of service caring for wounded soldiers and striving to save them through the traditional Christianity teachings. It was not until age 39 that Bailey began working with Master D.K., and that began initially with great reluctance. So we see training in the early life, but the personality creating roadblocks to moving into soul-inspired work. How much more you want me to go?
I think we need to stop here if that's a
Okay.
good stopping point for you.
It is.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you, Michael. I think you covered some really important areas and very good points you made. It's very, very full and very much appreciated. I have very little to add because you did such a comprehensive analysis. Just a few points I want to point out for the audience to think about and consider. One of the things that you mentioned, Michael, is that she saw herself as an introvert. Interestingly enough, that, you know, like you said, she's got all these planets and on the south, south hemisphere, and all these planets on the eastern side, which is the opposite of being inside and introverted and subjective. And yet she's got a Leo ascendant. So look at what the soul chose. The soul chose for her to have to move out of that introverted space and be on center stage, to be out there in front of people. And so she was forced, Mars, forced to have to do that. Mars is sitting right on her ascendant, so that so much energy was needed for her to get out of that, that whatever you want to call it, that introverted space, and to be out there in the world. And even though it's in the 12th house, it's still sitting right on her ascendant. So that's an interesting thing to note. The other thing that I thought was worthy to note is this stellium that she has here in Aries. You know, there's a lot of first ray associated with this. And she's got Jupiter in the 9th house, the house of higher learning, and Jupiter is also the teacher, and she became the teacher. So she's got all this energy here in Aries, and the ruler of Aries is Mars. Let's go back to where Mars is. Mars is sitting right on her ascendant. So we see the relationship here with Aries and all of that energy and Mars. She's the disciplinarian, Saturn. She is the teacher. The world sees her as an Aries kind of individual, outgoing. Like Aries, we know, has first ray associated with it. And I do want to point out for the audience, even though we haven't really studied this, is that that Saturn falls in Aries. So Saturn, which usually is restrictive, it usually allows someone to be limited, to be authoritative, to be hemmed in. Well, if it falls, it doesn't allow it to do that, what it normally would want to do. In some areas, it's inhibited. So its natural energy is inhibited. So she could really do her Aries thing here because Saturn is in Aries and it falls there. It's not as prominent as it would be if it wasn't falling. Kind of makes sense? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so that was one thing. The other thing is she's got very little water, as has been pointed out. The only thing she's got in water is her Mercury, the mind. Now, isn't that interesting that it's the mind that is in water? And we tend to say that if you had a lot of water, you had Cancer and Pisces and all this water, you'd be somewhat psychic. So which planet is it that she's got in water? She's got the mind. And isn't it the mind that was being used as an amanuensis for decay, as the telepathic person, the psychic person that could get all this energy and then be able to transmit it via a communicative approach right there. And as you very well pointed out, Venus, the esoteric ruler of Gemini, is right there beside her sun, which is in Gemini. And the other thing is, as you pointed out, it's the ruler of her moon. Now, the moon is also the lines of least resistance. It's the way in which she naturally is without thinking. And so she knows how to communicate, because that's what Librans do. They communicate, they relate, they find themselves in social environments. That's a very natural thing for her to do. And with all that Gemini, it magnifies it even more, in spite of the fact that they are squared. She's got all this ability to relate, to others. And the other thing is that it's in the third house. It's in the house that normally Gemini would occupy. So there's that extra emphasis, again, on that Geminian quality of communication. And isn't that what she's done? She's communicated to us, absolutely communicated. There's only one more thing I'm pointing out, and then I'm letting this go because we need to move on, and that is this Cancer energy. She's brought that in from the past. This is the South Node. The South Node is that which we bring in from the past, and if we look at its opposite, the North Node, it's in Capricorn. Now, for those of you who don't know, in astrology, we can make anything fit, okay? If you know what you're looking for, you can find it. Now, we know that she was, almost going to have her third initiation, and perhaps she did before she died. So she sits in Capricorn. This is her destiny. This is what she's reaching toward. And initiation, as we have learned, is very much associated with Capricorn. It happens in Capricorn, and it happens in the 5th house, which is the causal body, which is the egoic lotus, which is the soul, right? So she becomes soul infused in the 5th house through the North Node, and you want to call it Capricorn. So that's it. But thank you so much, Michael. Super, super job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And I just want to add, Eva, that it's unusual for the nodes to be anything other than retrograde. Their normal motion is retrograde, and here they're stationary for her. So it was very important that she not only have this Capricorn Cancer axis, but that she have this particular degree as well. And what are they doing? They're squaring her moon. So this was a karmic lifetime for her, as Eva said, to make that Capricorn, that initiation. The Saturn up here in her 10th house also reinforces that. So there's so many little subtle things going on here. And you did a great job of pointing out so much in her chart. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, so I think we move on, and maybe we have sound now.
Okay, Tracy, are you ready?
Yes, hi BL, thank you for that.
Hey, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Tracy, and I was born on the 4th of August 1966 in the UK, which gives me a Capricorn ascendant, a Leo sun, and a Pisces moon. My hypothesized ray chart is Soul Ray 2, Personality Ray 3, Mental Ray 4, Astral Ray 6, and Physical Ray 7. The quadrants at the bottom left indicate that my most strongest is the 3rd quadrant, which is houses 7 to 9. They emphasize social identity, worldly issues. I've always been focused on or interested in social psychology and betterment for the world. I studied social psychology at university, studying social psychology, understanding relationships, and then looking into what is needed for the world as a whole and the healing. Now interested in understanding spiritual approaches in an expanded cosmic system, so looking further out to the microcosmic and macrocosmic and where I fit into this picture and doing higher service. This quadrant also includes extroverted group initiated activity. I do enjoy social and group activities and like to make people feel welcome and included. The hemispheres, the balance of my hemispheres show that I have most in the southern and western houses. Southern is an environment of extroverted tendencies where you recharge yourself primarily through contact with others. I tend to find this works out for me through being with spiritually inclined people, where there are ageless wisdom teachings and development of spiritual pathways. I attended both the Theosophical Society and Christ College here in New Zealand, which is an esoteric group that are aligned to the Moria Federation. And I also enjoy group meditation. I always feel very recharged and that I experience much higher and deeper connections in group meditation. The Western Hemisphere reflects an environment of group-initiated activities and affiliations, and I have a preference of being with like-minded spiritually inclined people who support and uplift each other, and a preference to be with others rather than on my own when in external environments. I actually began working this year for an organisation called Unity New Zealand, which is where spiritually minded people work together to teach Christian principles through the New Thought kind of movement, which has been an interesting move for me career-wise from more mainstream administrative type work. My ascendant is Capricorn. The focus is on, for Capricorn ascendant, is on physical body discomfort initially to an expanding environment of soul expression, working with personality and in control of harmonizing the lower three fields. I feel that I'm doing some of that at the moment through studying with Moria Federation. I have had physical body discomfort to overcome, and through overcoming that I have studied alternative health, and now I'm looking to help others in the same way through reflexology who are suffering from discomfort. I've had to go to alternative health because nothing mainstream was able to help me at the time. The esoteric key phrase for Capricorn is let ambition rule and let the door stand wide. Capricorn negative traits that I'm working on overcoming are being too cautious, being too pessimistic in relationship to taking the first steps into soul expression. I've wanted to step into more spiritual pathways for quite a while, but have placed materialism and mainstream career roles first in my life to date. Some vices of the rays of Capricorn that I need to overcome, the Capricorn rays. Ray 1 is pride, willfulness, hardness, arrogance and obstinacy. And Ray 3, absent-mindedness, criticism of others and obstinacy again. So I have a tendency sometimes to see my way as being the right way, and I need to overcome those tendencies. Ray 7, formalism and self-opinion. So again, it's in relation to opening myself to a wider group orientation and working with people. I'm learning to overcome these by utilizing Capricorn positive traits, which include becoming more disciplined, being more patient, gaining more practical skills through study, and ambition and spiritual direction to work for the good of all in unity with people, with groups. The esoteric key phrase for Capricorn is lost I am in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. I'm strengthening my qualities through having more patience, a devotion to helping all, seeing a unity of purpose for all, becoming more gentle and less aggressive, becoming more focused and accurate with details, gaining clarity and releasing criticism, becoming more group focused and having less of a need to isolate myself. The higher expressions of the rays of Capricorn are ray 1, patience, tolerance, sympathy, humility and tenderness. Ray 3, devotion, accuracy, common sense, energy, sympathy and tolerance, sincerity of purpose, a capacity for concentration on philosophic studies. And Ray 7 is a realization of unity, wide-mindedness, tolerance, humility, gentleness and love and self-reliance. As I become less materialistically ambitious, I find myself moving to deeper soul and energy work through the combined focus of the work at Unity that I'm doing and the reflexology healing work, and beginning to network with like-minded healers and working within a heart-centered ministerial assistant work at Unity, which is a group-centered organisation. Focus there is no desire to control others, a lot of humility and tenderness in assisting others with love and support to find their own spiritual pathways. The esoteric and exoteric planetary rulers of Capricorn are Saturn. This rules the career of man, whether on the ordinary wheel or on the path. Can seem to be restrictive, forming set boundaries for the ordinary man. It is a recorder of karma, tracking both good and bad karma as an influence of the third ray of intelligent activity works out. When individuals upon the path recognizes Saturn as the esoteric rule of Capricorn, when an individual is upon the path, they realize that it is also a planet of opportunity and not just restrictive. Then one can begin to consciously work with the third ray's energy in more positive ways. Eventually Saturn work is complete and the disciple is freed from karma and no longer needs to incarnate, but continues to do so to provide intelligent activity for the betterment of all humanity. For me, initially I used to find my workplaces quite restrictive. I'd enjoy them for a while and then get bored. Money was always good, and that had always been my focus, to earn a good wage. I came from a working class background, so this was always quite a priority. It did help me, however, to mature and become more responsible through my work. As I move into more soul-infused work, I'm able to work more consciously in a way that is for the betterment of all, and I certainly feel much more freer in the work I can do now. The current job also was more of a conscious choice in the sense of being a more soul-aligned choice than previous work, which I felt was much more lower materialistically chosen. Through opportunities, Saturn gives us balance, and we can reach a place where conscious choice becomes an actual possibility. My sun sign is in the 7th house, is Leo. The sun in Leo, the personality, lower exoteric key phrase is "let other forms exist, I rule because I am." Leo's prime theme is activity of self-conscious relation to the environment or development of a sensitive response to surrounding impacts. Learning to coordinate our physical, emotional and mental vehicles by experiencing all we can of the form life. We can then coordinate lower vehicles into the personality, a new vehicle, where we can be capable of catching glimpses of a higher purpose that will eventually free us from dependency on the illusion of the form life. I'm working on overcoming being too headstrong, egotistical, dominating, impatient and arrogant. The expression of Leo 5th ray energy registers through concrete knowledge that he is not in reality the center of his universe. He emerges from self-centered ego through application of self-will via Leo's other ray, which is the 1st ray. I was very conscious at a younger age of my self-image and oversensitive to that until I began my social psychology degree, which then turned me towards helping others and being less focused on myself. From time to time, I need to work on the following vices of Ray 1: willfulness and anger if I become impatient, and Ray 5, irreverence or narrowness of point of view when I don't understand someone's motivations. The esoteric keynote of Leo, the higher keynote, is I am that, and that am I. Here we move from the self-centered individual who was once an isolated self through arrogance and need to dominate their own environment to having relationships built on kindness, truthfulness and loyalty, a recognition of being a brother alongside others and not the one who knows it all and can do it all alone. I began listening to the guiding voice within and began the pathway of service working alongside others. The Leo positive traits for me to cultivate are kindness, a big heart, optimism, truthfulness and loyalty. The virtues of Ray 1, strength, courage, steadfastness, truthfulness arising from absolute fearfulness, power of ruling, capacity to grasp great questions in a large-minded way, and of handling men and measures. And Ray 5, strictly accurate statements, justice without mercy, perseverance, common sense, uprightness, independence, and keen intellect. These are all to be worked on. I have become able to effectively express in a more truthful and accurate way, and have become more confident of myself as a unique and independent being within a group and not as a separate identity altogether separate from groups. I find that keeping to honest facts and persevering with clients leads to their growth rather than trying to control them through a self-motivated need to protect myself and ideas. The virtues to be acquired: patience, tolerance, tenderness and humility for Ray 1, love, sympathy and devotion and working to serve all, reverence and wide-mindedness for Ray 5. The Sun transmits Ray 2, love, wisdom. The Ray 2 virtues are calm, strength, patience and endurance, love of truth, faithfulness, intuition, clear intelligence and serene temper. The vices can be over-absorption of study and not doing anything with it. And I have studied quite a bit in my life and not particularly followed through in finding a career relating to my study. I'm beginning to do that now. The Sun esoterically veils Neptune, Ray 6 aspirational energy. Neptune emerges from behind the veil and is increasingly sensitive to the soul as the conditioning factor, replacing the sensitivity to the environing world as the old conditioning factor. Emotional desire can be transmuted into love and aspiration and a dedication to the soul. The entire emotional or sensitive nature becomes more responsive to energies coming from Neptune, the heart of the Sun. Neptune guides soul alignment with personality, 9th house is Scorpio. Neptune house and aspects are where to pursue the spiritual quest, to spiritualize morals and beliefs, to be more inclusive, goodness and kindness, different cultures and religions. I've always been interested in different cultures and different religions throughout my life, and the new job that I have at Unity, I'm particularly learning to work in a more inclusive way where spiritual values are more to the fore than anywhere that I've ever worked before. This makes for a wise and compassionate leader, and where I'm working, the use of positive words and language that uplifts is a particular focus. The task is to refine substance of your personality nature and to stimulate the nature of the heart. And again, my work as a minister's assistant is now moving me into a much more heart-centered way of being. I've always been very sensitive to the environment and those around me, in particular the energies being presented to me. I'm learning to transmute the emotional desire-based sensitivity into love, aspiration and dedication to soul work. The organisation I work for is a combination of Ray 2 and Ray 6 energies, which is interesting in relationship to my
Tracy, we just lost you. Or am I the one who's lost? Hold it.
How to make my personality traits more effective to
Tracy, hold on just 1 second. We just lost you for a minute. Or was I the one who was lost?
Okay.
No, it's...
We lost her.
We lost her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, we lost you for a few minutes. You were talking about the new organization that you work for being Ray 2 and Ray 6 combo, and that's when we lost you.
Yes. Okay. Yep. So it is that organisation which is helping me to learn how to make my personality traits more effective in cultivating my soul expression. I can also get quite frustrated with myself if I feel that I'm not doing something perfectly straight away, particularly in relation to detail. This can lead to challenges in my workplace and expectations I place on myself and others in relation to patients. And also in my studies, I can sometimes want to not complete something if it doesn't seem to be working out in the way I expected. And I feel that this can affect group structure if you don't have the virtues of the Ray 1 of strength, courage and steadfastness. So this can lead to a device of indifference. This leads to needing to work on balancing my Sun-Earth axis, which is the Sun in Leo, and the Earth in the opposite sign of Aquarius, to begin working in harmony. The environment where the work must be done on personality to transform my sign's exoteric key phrase into the higher expression of the soul keynote is the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. Higher spiritual purpose is therefore an environment establishing viable spiritual relationships with the soul and soul group. I have a tendency to not like being alone, hence prefer group events. But in this sense, I've also had to learn to move from codependency, which can lead to intense emotional pain rather than creative and empowered relationships. I went through a period of studying psychotherapy in 2005, and I felt that this time helped me to find a truer self, my truer self, before committing to another relationship or organisations. After this particular time, I met my current partner, which has led to a committed relationship, and the relationship does have its spiritual elements as well. Also being able to merge the will with the group through legal processes, diplomacy, counselling or negotiation for the greater good. I'm learning this through working with the trust board and the spiritual counselling of the minister. These are all part of the Sun-Earth axis through Leo and Aquarius, working in harmony with others. As part of this axis, the work to be undertaken in Earth and Aquarius involves the loving use of the concrete mind for the advancement of those ideas and principles that will bring a sense of unified wholeness to human existence. We publish a booklet at Unity called The Daily Word, which expresses positive thought principles for the concrete mind, enabling people to feel uplifted and empowered. And this organisation was called unity because the idea of a unity to all humankind through creating positive thought forms and higher spiritual principles was part of their beginning principles when the company first set up in America. The exoteric issue with Leo Aquarius is personal versus impersonal, creative versus unconventional. The esoteric purpose is learning self-mastery that will lead to group awareness and selfless world service.
Tracy, do you have a lot to go? I'm just looking at how we're doing with time.
Okay, well, I'm just following the notes that we went through.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to, rather than telling us the qualities of the particular energies, tell us about you and how they apply to you. So pull that out of your notes.
Okay. So this is looking at not taking things personally, to be more unconventionally creative, and to be comfortable with the uniqueness. And this is where I tended to feel more comfortable fitting in one way to my environment, but also wanted to express my uniqueness and wasn't so comfortable doing that. So I'll just skip through some of this, BL, I think, because I can see that we're running out of time.
We're running over. We're running late, so sorry. Yeah.
You gave us a lot of information about yourself, and that's the important part of this exercise. By now, most of us know the qualities of the various signs, the qualities of the various rays, so we kind of know that. So it's important to, apply it to oneself, and how does that apply to you, kind of thing. So you've done a fairly good analysis of yourself. I'm glad that this exercise has helped you really hone in on your own growth and your own situation. So I don't want to cut you short. Is there anything else that you still want to add about yourself in relation to this chart?
I don't, other than the moon in Pisces being quite sensitive, that was the last bit really, and that I've always found it quite easy to use my imagination and intuition through meditation, and that has helped with the work I'm now doing. But I think that's good. That's all good. Thank you.
And that's excellent, and you really shared a lot about yourself, and so we appreciate your openness, your honesty, and your self-observation, because this is what this whole purpose is to get to know ourselves a little bit better. I doubt that most of us, we want to become astrologers. We really want to be able to look at a chart and be able to understand ourselves and maybe our family. So let's work with what you just said. When I look at your chart, okay, this is for everybody to note. When I look at your chart, I don't see any squares. I mean, we look at your chart and all we see trines. As a matter of fact, you have a grand trine in water. We have Cancer. We have Scorpio. We have Pisces. So this feeds into what you just said, being intuitive, having great imagination, being very sensitive. Like, this is the sign, the signature of someone who is very intuitive or even psychic. I don't know if that applies to you, but this certainly is a signature of such. Then we have all these sextiles. There are no squares. So we would think by looking at this, wow, what an easy life. Right? The soul has such an interesting way of making us grow and learn. And in your situation, I will point out how it has done that for you. Okay. So you've got Capricorn rising. We start with your rising sign. And as you pointed out, its ruler is Saturn. And Saturn is both exoteric, esoteric, and even hierarchical ruler. So it's a very important planet for you. And it is retrograde. We talked about retrograde, right? It's retrograde. So Saturn normally creates boundaries. Saturn usually is restrictive. It creates limitations. It's discipline. But it's retrograde. Being retrograde, it doesn't behave the way it normally would. It's slowed down a little bit. You know, it doesn't have those same qualities as potent as they would be if they weren't retrograde. Then it finds itself in Pisces. Pisces is all about water, and one can actually drown in Pisces. Your moon is there. So that Piscean energy, we usually say with Pisces there are no boundaries. One doesn't know their boundaries. Well, that restrictive quality that Saturn would normally have is kind of drowning a little bit in Pisces. Do you see what I mean? So it's
Yes,
almost like,
yeah.
it's almost contradictory to what the Saturn energy would normally do. Then Saturn we even say is a mental planet. And that mental planet that would allow you to structure, to create the structures that you need, is kind of washed. It's kind of, it becomes amorphous. It becomes loose. It doesn't allow you to create those structures that you normally would want to create with Saturn. Does that make sense? I'm losing the words I normally would want to say. And then your moon is there, so your natural sensitivity is there. And growing up, you probably didn't have those boundaries that one needs, and would be very, very impacted by energies all around you, and probably still are impacted by energies all around you.
Yes.
And then you have Chiron, smack dab in the middle between your moon and your Saturn. And as we have said time and time again in these webinars, Chiron forces us to have to make adjustments, to make corrections, because if we don't, we end up with ill health. And you spoke about ill health. You spoke about your body, which is the moon also, your form, your body, not being well. So somehow that emotional, unable to really relate to, has caused you ill health. And I mean, none of us know what, nor is it important for us to know what. But you can see how with Chiron there, it becomes, it forces you to have to look at yourself if you've become ill, because you've got to find alternatives. You've got to get well, right? So Chiron has helped you in many respects to make adjustments, to make corrections, because of this emotional over-emotionalism that you live and experience and live on a regular basis because of this trine. Okay? And in some respects, it's very hard to get to know yourself, to get to really know yourself because of this. And it's opposite, you know, it's, I wanted to talk about the sun, but it's opposite Pluto, it's opposite Chiron. So things will happen for you in unusual ways. Emotional attachments may be unusual. There might be trouble with the opposite person. It might be changes in residence. There are shifts in attitude, because we're talking about emotionalism. There might be moodiness. All of this is opposition, you know, and it might sometimes swing one way or swing the other way. And another thing, usually with Moon and Pluto, we tend to say, was your mother domineering? Was your mother difficult for you?
Yeah, a little. Not overly, but a little. There was a limited freedom.
Okay. Usually that's the conventional way that we look at that, but I mean that's only one way in astrology. There's hundreds of ways to look at things. With Uranus there, it might make you impulsive. It might make you very sensual, even vying for power, that freedom that you needed, that you probably did not have. But on the other hand, it is Pluto being in the 8th house, which is normally its dignified home, because it is the ruler of the 8th house, because Scorpio normally lives in that house, is a very good thing, because it gives you the opportunity to transform, to regenerate, to change, you know, to transform the things that you can then, you know, look at more closely, matters of everyday life, to look at them, you know, in a critical way. So it allows for that transformation here for you. Okay?
Yes.
The other thing I want to point out is that we talked about interceptions. Look at that. Your Leo is intercepted. Well, then obviously it makes the opposite intercepted too. And your Sun is in Leo. So you did mention a number of times about stepping into yourself and that identity that you needed, that power that you needed to have that sense of self, the confidence that you needed. All of that is Leo, and it needed to find a way to come out of that intercepted closet that it's in, you see. Its ruler is the Sun.
Yes.
So you needed to find the qualities within you that gave you the power, the authority, that self-determination to step out of that interception of being in a closet so that you can really shine, Sun, shine in Leo. Be that leader that you refer to that you are, and that benevolent leader, which is what a Sun in Leo can be. And you have your Mercury right there. And your Mercury is retrograde, which means when it's retrograde in the heavens, when we hit the retrograde, for you it goes direct. But you live a retrograde Mercury, which for you means that you're not that quick to make the decisions. You're not that quick with the mind. The mind to chew things, go over it again and again, and it's more subjective, more intro rather than exo. Yeah? Yeah. Again, that's because it's a retrograde Mercury here. Now you see all of this in Cancer. The nurturing quality that is in you, it's a very interesting thing to see. 16 degrees and 16 degrees for both Mars and Venus. We call that a combust. Don't ask me what all that means. It just means that they're identical degrees and that they're powerful because one isn't stronger than the other, you see. So you know your social skills quite well. Step out of your sensitivity. Step out of that maybe lack of confidence, whatever it is. You really know how to relate. You really could relate very well to others because it is in the 7th house of relationships. And you have your Jupiter there, and it's exalted. It's in a really good place. It's exalted in Cancer. So you can nurture the people that you associate with, the people that you relate with. You can really do your own thing. As a leader, because you've learned the disciplines involved in being the best that you can be, you see?
Yeah.
And then you have, of course, your Neptune. You talked about that. It's in Scorpio. That's probably what led you to all the psychology that you were involved in. It's leading you into your esoteric work. It's leading you to dig deep into all this, Moria Federation work, the esoterics. It's the ruler of the Sun. If we, not the ruler of the Sun. It is the Sun that it veils Neptune, and it is in Scorpio. And you do have all of this in the Scorpio house. So you have a lot of potential to dig deep, to get to know yourself even better, because that is your aim in this incarnation, is to really step into yourself, step into the sense of who you are, and to be able to radiate that, because that's what Leos do. And you can do that in the relationships that you create, because it's all in the 7th house. You have the capacity, with all of this in Cancer, to be nurturing, caring, create an environment that's safe for other people in relationships, And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be to say it how it is, to be structured, to be to be that strong person that you certainly can be. It's difficult with all that water, I know, but you can step out of that and be who you are. And that's all I got to share with you, is be who you are, because you have so much potential there.
Thank you. That's lovely.
Good.
And I just wanted to add that you have these huge, grand water trine, it's not there once, it's there in triplicate, because you have the 3 points at each part. But you also have, as Eva said, you have all the sextiles too. So what it does is it adds the earth quality that opposes these other points to bring that practicality down to the water. It's like what you were describing with taking your personality quirks and how you're expressing now the soul version of that. This is going to help you do that through the practicality with the the Pluto and Uranus in Virgo opposite your Pisces, and then you're missing the Cancer point. So you've got the kite here for this angle, and you've got the kite down here for this angle here, with the North Node in Taurus giving you that illumination, the practicality to work with the Scorpio planets. Technically, your ascendant should be in a few degrees higher. You're missing the point over here in Capricorn that would put it all together for you. But the fact that you're actually expressing, some of the higher qualities of your Capricorn ascendant, it shows to me that you're working on that, elevating the consciousness, that you're working on the Taurus illumination, and that it can actually take that watery element and add the structure to it. Also, as much as Saturn isn't going to have boundaries if it's either retrograde or in Pisces, this is the last degree of Pisces. So it gives you an opportunity to learn that particular lesson of Pisces. And you seem to be doing that quite well with the new work that you're doing, with the new studies that you're doing. You're taking that sensitivity and you're using it for the right reasons, is what it looks like to me. So.
Yeah, well said, BL. I really, you know what, that 29 degrees of Saturn, it's very important to recognize that she gets beyond that. She's got it made because it's at the very, very last degree, Really, really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, BL.
You're welcome, and thank you. You shared an awful lot with us, and I hope this was a very good, useful experience for you, as it is with everybody. You were actually our last personal presenter. The remaining webinars that we have, our guest presenters are going to be doing a second presentation, some of them. We asked for volunteers, and many of you stepped up. Thank you. We're all booked right now through the 16 May webinar, and then we'll have the final webinar on 6 June. We won't have any presentations then. What it's going to be is a wrap-up of everything and putting things together in perspective. At that time, we're going to discuss transits, and we're going to also talk about progressions. As Eva mentioned, when you go to the conferences or other astrologers, they're real good about handing out those quad wheels that have your natal chart in it. They have the transits, they have the secondary progressions, and they have the solar arc directions. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about all of those things. I'll send you all a follow-up chart that has those 4 things in it, so you can look at it. So I'm sorry that we're running a little late today, but I hope that it was productive for you with everything that we've done. So any questions or any comments before we close the webinar out? I don't see any hands or anything. So thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you, Michael. Great presentation on Alice Bailey. And thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, everybody. And We hope that these webinars are fruitful, and we get feedback every now and then from people that are not attending these webinars, that do look into this, people we haven't got a clue who they are, and they're enjoying that. So that's a good thing. So we're happy that this is making its rounds to other people as well. So thank you for attending. It always creates good energy when we have as many people as we do.
Okay, no questions, no more comments, so thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.